The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
Welcome into the Sportsocracy. I'm Tank Spencer, he's Jeremy Greene, and of course we're in the Wicked Weed studio as always. WickedWeedBrewing.com. Drink different. Monday Night Football was quite fun. It was quite fun. We had the overtime battle between the Baltimore Ravens and the Indianapolis Colts. Jeremy, you called it. I didn't think this game was going to be close. And lo and behold, the Baltimore Ravens had to come back from 22 points down to win this one.
This is one of those games that I look at and go, I called this almost to the number. And I'm still mystified by what I watched.
Right.
Still.
I mean, the way Indianapolis jumped all over Baltimore to begin the game. I mean, first off, Jonathan Taylor, gone. 76 yards for the touchdown on the opening drive. And that's when you thought, oh, no. But I had all the faith in the world that Baltimore was going to come back down and get those points. They just never did. They never found them until the second half. And then Lamar Jackson did amazing things. Man, I was so wrong about him. Lamar Jackson is the one guy that I will forever look at and go, yeah, I got that wrong. He has now more total yards this year in the NFL than 18 teams. 1,860 yards so far on the year.
Well, I mean, Lamar Jackson's subhuman.
He's a freak. He's an absolute freak.
I don't love this, the current game plan, and I'm going to keep saying that. I don't like any time that Lamar Jackson's going to have to throw for 440 some odd yards. I'm not saying he can't do it. He was unfucking believable last night. I will also say Indy, by the end of this game, was playing two corners that I have never heard of. I grade 500 prospects a year for the NFL draft.
Right.
I had never heard of them. That's saying something. With that being said, I don't think this is a sustainable model. I still think you need to see the dynamic, and I saw some of it. You have got to learn to run with somebody else. I mean, I want Lamar to have that 8 to 10 to 12 carries a game. But I need to see something out of Lat Murray. I need to see something out of Tyson Williams. Le'Veon Bell, how's that working for you?
Yeah.
I think he has as many carries as you and I do, plus 4. But I feel like Greg Roman's going too far the other direction.
Right.
And it's going to make you really volatile. And you're going to see things like you saw early in this game. They couldn't do shit in the first half of this game. And then Lamar just turned it on. Asking your quarterback to do that routinely is a recipe for disaster. So I don't want to say, and it's a balance. It's not my job to come up with it. I'm just telling you why the first half happened the way it did.
Right.
Now, here's the other thing I'll tell you. Baltimore, before you get too high and mighty about winning this game, and I need you to understand, we're doing power rankings at 10 a.m. live here tomorrow morning. You're going to like the number beside your team because I very much believe in your team. If Indianapolis didn't absolutely lose their godforsaken minds in the fourth quarter, you'd have lost this game.
Yep.
Because the play call turned into 1976, and you passed too much and ran just. It was I could have almost picked the gap that Jonathan Taylor was going into.
Right.
Or Marlon Mack or whoever touched
yeah.
the ball. That's how you won. So, yes, Lamar was electric. You needed a lot of things to go right to beat a team that's not very good. So, to me, they need to go back to the drawing board and figure out, okay, exactly what is it that we have to do? Unfortunately for them, I don't think you're going to do it before the bye week, and you play two pretty good damn quarterbacks.
I don't understand why they can't, why they haven't been able to figure out how to use Tyson Williams properly, because he's shown flashes.
There are flashes with him. He's a young running back. He doesn't do the little things that people don't see.
Yeah.
And I get it. It's a constant problem with young running backs like that. But he does have pop, and he does have a role in this offense. The thing you got to find is some balance. I mean, I'm looking at the stat sheet for the Baltimore Ravens. How many carries through 5 games do they have from players not named Lamar Jackson?
44.
I hate when we do games like this, but I don't know why I still do them.
Yeah, I
that
don't
number
know
doesn't
either.
make any
You keep
fucking
throwing
sense.
me all these things that I'm like, I don't know.
In 5 games, they have 96 carries from players not named Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
That's less than 20 a game. Mm-hmm. Latavius Murray has 50. Right at 10 carries a game. Tyson Williams is at about 6 a game. Mm-hmm. That's just not sustainable to me, because you're asking Lamar Jackson to do something that I don't think he's perfectly suited to do. Mm-hmm. Do it against Chargers this week. See what happens.
Yeah.
With Derwin James and Asante Samuel Jr. Do it this week.
Yeah.
I dare you. It won't go well for you.
Right.
You need Lamar Jackson to be that dynamic player. And I feel like to do that appropriately, you're going to have to figure out what is happening with this line, because the line's not good. Mm-mm. And now the line is absolutely decimated by injuries, with Ben Cleveland gone. And I'll give Patrick McCarry credit. You filled in admirably. But do you realize he's currently listed on their official depth chart in 4 different places?
Really?
That's how out of players they are. Mm-hmm. How do you fix that? I don't know. Maybe get more involvement with Eric Tomlinson, Patrick Ricard. I don't know. It's not my job. My job is to go, yeah, you can't keep doing this. If you keep doing this, somebody's going to get you. Mm-hmm. Because if you get into a track meet with Justin Herbert, you're not going to like how 50-throw Lamar Jackson looks against Derwin James and Asante Samuel.
Right.
Or against the Buffalo Bills. That's probably it in the AFC. Any team you play in the NFC.
Yeah.
Of the high-level teams. The Rams, the Cardinals, the Dallas Cowboys. Can you beat a team like this? Absolutely. Can you beat probably every team in the NFL outside of the top 8? Yep. My problem is that I think with the way this is currently laid out, you don't have that high side. Mm-hmm. And that's what you need. You need that other gear. And the way to do that is to find some blend of what Lamar has been for the first 3 years and what he has been this year. And the only path to that righteousness is to run the fucking ball.
Yes.
And I understand the line's bad. I get all those things. Yep. I know I'm asking for something that's very difficult to produce. Mm-hmm. I get that. I'm just saying for you to be a Super Bowl contender, because when we put out power rankings, you're not going to be one of the Super Bowl contenders for me.
No.
Because there are 6 teams in this league that I think are definitively better than you. But you're close. And you can get there. You got to tinker something, because you can't be down 22-3 to the fucking Indianapolis Colts.
Right. It's good to see big games from Mark Andrews and from Marquise Brown. And Lamar Jackson, when he throws the ball 43 times and only has 6 incompletions. That was the thing that killed me the most about it.
And this team, wide receiver-wise, is so deep.
Yeah.
And that's without Rashad Bateman.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you have weapons. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, Sammy Watkins, Devin Duvernay, you got them all.
You got weapons. Mm-hmm. This is a really good Ravens team.
Now, let's talk about the Indianapolis Colts, because this was a big step forward for them, and especially for Carson Wentz.
For 3 quarters, yes.
Yeah, and for Carson Wentz to come out looking like he did.
Whoever called your plays in the 4th quarter needs to be kicked directly in the dick, because they just handed a game directly to the Baltimore Ravens.
Right. They were trying to salt it away, playing too conservative. We've seen teams do this over and over.
And then they threw entirely too much. Mm-hmm. Like, you have to get somewhat creative. I mean, Jesus Christ, just because you're up by 3 scores doesn't mean you just run, a dive play right into the ass of your guard 10 times.
Right.
And then it was almost like the light switch flipped of, oh, shit.
They're still in this.
And then all of a sudden, Carson Wentz is just dropping back on every play.
Right.
I didn't get it. Now, to what you said, the first 3 quarters, yeah, that team can make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. That team can win this division. Mm-hmm. Because that team's not that much worse than the Tennessee Titans.
Agreed.
And you get a shot to prove it 3 weeks from now.
Yep. 25 of 35 for Carson Wentz, 402 yards and 2 touchdowns.
That's the Carson Wentz that I have been enamored with for a long time. Mm-hmm. And that's the first time I've seen it in a long time.
Yep. And then you had Jonathan Taylor doing Jonathan Taylor things. Been in love with the kid since he was in college, and I've seen nothing that sways me off of that in the NFL. He has a bright future in the NFL. His 2 touchdowns, including that 76-yard touchdown catch that we mentioned to open up the game, 169 total yards. This team has talent. It's just, can you get what you need out of the quarterback to make it work? And you got it last night for a while.
The problem with this team now is you've dug yourself such a hole because you've now lost a game that you absolutely shouldn't have. Mm-hmm. You've lost a game to a team that you shouldn't have lost to, and you've lost a game to the Titans. Mm-hmm. So, there are 12 games left on the schedule. 3 of them, I think, are guaranteed losses. That gives you absolutely no room for – you've taken away all the room for error.
Right.
And with a team like this, that scares me. Now, Michael Pittman, I tried to tell you. Maybe I should name the Chase Claypool team the Michael Pittman team. They came out in the same year, and I'm starting to think Michael Pittman might be better.
Possibly.
He's a legitimate one in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Harris Campbell's a legitimate 2. Zach Pascal's a hell of a 3. Mm-hmm. Mo Alley Cox can do some things. Jonathan Taylor is a bad, bad man. Mm-hmm. There are things to like. You got to get healthy above all else. And you're going to need some help. You're going to need Tennessee to keep being this weird, drop-heavy, god-awful passing offense that they've been. But you have hope. I saw a team last night. The team I saw for 3 quarters out of the Indianapolis Colts last night can make the playoffs. The team I saw in the fourth quarter can't.
Yep.
And now the question is, was that because of conservative play calling or because of your secondary is just ravaged? Mm-hmm. I don't know the answer to that. But you get the Houston Texans this week, and that's a great way to get healthy.
Yeah, it is.
God, I would hate to be a Houston Texan.
Hopefully that secondary doesn't give up 300 yards to Davis Mills like the Patriots just did.
I'm a bet they don't. And it's in the dome.
Right.
I would T's and P's for all Houston Texans because you are going to get demolished by the Indianapolis Colts.
Yes, you will, and we will have the recaps and the previews of it all right here in the Sportsocracy team-by-team content all throughout the season. Hit that subscribe button, and you can join us every weekday morning live right here in the Wicked Weed studio at 10 a.m. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.